We noticed that hockey, especially at the NHL level or even at the collegiate level, they had two separate locker rooms. So they really didn't want to hang out in the same spot.
Let's go, Auburn.
What's going on, world? Brand new episode of Royal Key there on your screen. I'm your host, George Kill. I'm here at Auburn with Gregory. Gregory, how you doing?
Doing well.
We're standing here in the lobby of Waltos Performance Center.
So where's Auburn again? Is that New York? I think it's New York. Let me know. I think it's New York. I think so.
Outside looking in, you see the brick, the traditional Auburn brick, but when you walk in here, it's super modern.
We really wanted to do something that blended in well with the rest of the university. And so that's why we have, very traditional brick, precast, things like that. But on the inside here, we really wanted to be as innovative as possible, use a lot of technology.
I think immediately Times Square, right?
Absolutely. So we really wanted to activate this space, and we wanted to do it in a way using video boards where we could really change out our message, change out the images anytime we really wanted to. It also has an effect outside. So as people are driving by, they see some flashes, they see some different activity going on. When you're in the space, you're just kind of enveloped with Auburn football. It's a little overwhelming, but that's kind of what we want.
So the functionality of this spot, obviously here's the lobby. If a recruit's coming through here, a donor or whomever, where do you take them next? I'm your recruit today, I'm your donor today. Where are we going next?
Right, so this is really our most public space, and we have our own kind of reception desk here. And what we did in the lobby specifically is instead of burying the staircase or having...
Do you know what I like? It's very simple. It's very simple. Like there's no crazy work being done. I love that. Even the urban football. Look at that. It's very simple. I love that. That's my kind of vibe. I think that's nice.
And what we did in the lobby specifically is instead of burying the staircase or having somewhat of a big grand staircase, we wanted the staircase to kind of come out into the lobby because it gives us the opportunity to kind of walk down the steps from this landing and just start communicating immediately. This is actually one of my favorite spots in the whole building because a lot going on, but this is where we really get to show off our former players, specifically the ones that are in the NFL. What we did here was a little different than most other schools. We decided to do a video board, which really activates the space, but also gives us kind of real-time video. We can update draft picks, we can update Super Bowl champions, anything like that, just on a moment's notice. Also, it was strategically put in this location because the players, as they're going to the weight room, as they're going to the practice field, they're seeing this every day. So they're seeing this is the goal, this is the next level. And then also around the corner here is our national award winners that are shown here, which are individual collegiate awards, and then further down some of our championship and undefeated seasons that we wanted to pay homage to some of our former teams. There were several places that we really focused on really getting a lot better. One of the areas where we wanted to get a lot better.
Also, what team, what team? What division? Are they in Division 1? I don't think they'll be in Division 1. Because there's so many teams that I've seen that I'm like, oh my God. Like Auburn University, it looks good. But like compared to I'm not going to judge you yet. Because I've seen some crazy dress rooms like, Alabama, Louisiana State. That's the two that comes up to me. Oklahoma, they've got some massive dressing room. The weight room looks good though. I think it looks big enough, but it's not as big as your Oklahoma, your Alabama. I think their football is next level. And 92 million, that's a lot of money. But compared to some other teams are spending 250, 300. It's so mad how much is being spent.
Was in our strength and conditioning area. So getting bigger, stronger, faster, that's something that when we have prospects coming into town or our current players, if that's not something that they want to do, then Auburn may not be the place for them. So this is really the size of a small grocery store. We have 22 racks. Each rack has its own perch system that basically analyzes how they're lifting. And we have a video board in here that's connected to all of that so we can.
I think it was Florida that I watched. Was it Florida? The Gators, I think they had the same kind of weight system that measures everything that's been. Yeah, I think it was Florida. Was it Florida? It must have been Florida, or was it Arkansas? I think was it Florida? I've done the Arkansas Razorback. It wasn't the Arkansas Razorback. I think it was Florida. Yeah.
and have competitions. We can do all different things like that. I would say that based on what I did research on and visiting other schools and other facilities, even at the NFL level, this probably has the most innovative technology in the nation. Having an indoor ramp was a big deal. Just because we had a ramp before, but it was outdoors. And so whenever there was inclement weather, we just couldn't use the ramp. Well, we said, hey, let's put it inside the building. So we put it inside the building and have it so they can run all the way in the indoor facility.
Now, everyone across the nation knows Auburn as the Tigers, but you guys make so many hints, so many cues to the War Eagle.
You have Auburn Tigers, that's our mascot. War Eagle is our battle cry. And then when we win, we like to throw a lot of toilet paper. So you're gonna see that sprinkled kind of all throughout the facility. The ceiling here has these large triangular shaped lights that look like a flock of very large birds like eagles, things like that. As you pointed out, the ramp system kind of looks like the feathers of an eagle. So no toilet paper in here, but more bird subliminal things happening in here.
Okay, Gregory, SEC country, the sun beams.
Yes, it does.
Summertime. So when you have something like this, it's very beneficial for the student athletes, the coaches, the admin, everyone.
This gets a lot of use for the reasons you just stated. This does have air conditioning. Different system than we had in our previous facility. Is very loud, so this is a much quieter system. But really, it gets used for flex, for practice times, things like that. But some
Like if that was me and I'm playing football, the fact that you've got this, and also do the students have access to it 24/7? Because I will just be there practicing every chance I get. Like I will just be randomly going. The fact that you can just, oh, this is so good, man. This is, like one thing I can't wait to see is the change room. The change room's always, it's always sick. I bet you they might have some kind of some massage chair and change room, something like that, something crazy. Let's see.
Some major things that we did different here is we want to get things off the sideline. We want a nice, clean gridiron and then the runoff area. So there's things that we did, like we put the speakers up on the columns as opposed to them being down on the ground. We can simulate 130 decibels, which is good for away games, but then also good for our home games. So again, this is the state-of-the-art indoor facility in the nation.
This facility in general, I know it has ties to a track. I know there was a track in this area. How did you guys do that? How did you guys build over the top of a track?
I like the connection there. So yes, the old track, considered the old track, our new track is in a different location. Actually, the field is pretty much the infield of the old track. But then we had the campus tennis courts, which we then upgraded and relocated somewhere off site. But yeah, we were hauling out 250 trucks per day for 50 days to kind of get everything flat.
Definitely. And then the functionality, the easy access to the practice fields is awesome.
Right. Our previous facility had 5 roll-up doors. We realized that's too many, but we really like the roll-up doors. So we just have 3 here, to and from the 2 outdoor grass fields. This is a unique facility in that a lot of times an indoor facility will be kind of at the end of a building. This indoor facility is kind of inside the building a little bit, so I can look directly into the training room. The trainers can look into here. They can kind of look up and go, oh, things are going on in here. They already have trainers in here, but it's just good for all the student athletes to be able to see kind of everything that's going on. That is a very unique component of this facility that a lot of other facilities don't have.
How important is a training area for a college football team, especially one that hadn't had all of the bells and whistles in the past?
First, in 2023, it is critical. Rehab, recovery, treatment, all of that is just a huge deal. This space here was a major point of emphasis for us when we built this facility. We designed it, we built it, and it was like, hey, we've got to make this a better space. It almost doubled in size. We have a rehab area, we have our treatment area, and then we have our taping area. All the offices have views out to this space. We have a hydrotherapy area, which is like probably 4 times the size of what we had before. So huge improvements.
What was the one thing, or it could be a couple of things that you had to have for your student athletes in this space?
I would say better hydrotherapy. So we have a plunge pool that seats 40 to 50, which is all cold. Hot tub, cold tub, and then we also have a HydroWorks 2000 machine, which is basically a tub that has a treadmill in it that can change the elevation or the depth that student athlete is in to try and recover. So, recovering from an injury and we want more resistance, then we'll be deeper in the water, so on and so forth. Has cameras underneath, so we can film all of it, collect all of that data. Also having rehab just right here to be able to do that. So those are some of the key things that we're just like, wow, we have got to get better on.
It used to.
Sorry, I'm always shocked whenever I see all these cool facilities, man. It's just, it's so beautiful. It's so slick. Look at that, the pool, fuck, nah. Imagine being a student knowing that's what, like when you're not in class, that's where you're gonna be. Me, I'll be looking forward to just, I can't sleep. I can't wait to get in there. I'll be there. I'll probably be there all day, every day. Every single day, I'll be there all day, every day. Why would I go home? Why would I go to my dirty room? Why? I can just chill here. Why?
To be in college athletics where you don't want to have your student athletes in here, because that kind of equates with injury. But I think having a recovery area for them to use consistently is just so beneficial.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like recovery after a practice or a lift session or whatever it may be is a very big deal. That's why we have the plunge pool. I mean, a pool for 40 or 50 is a big deal. Makes the practices better. Every part of their well-being, physical, mental, everything is going to be better.
Really looking at some other facilities, we noticed that hockey, especially at the NHL level, or even at the collegiate level, they had 2 separate locker rooms. So they really didn't want to hang out in the same spot as all their really wet, nasty gear. And then the question I would always ask, do the players use the lounges? They said, well, not really. I mean, they kind of do, but it's not really on their path of travel. So that's kind of when the light bulb went on.
That looks cool. That looks so relaxing. Imagine after training, you have a nice, lovely shower. You take a nap. You're watching TV. You wake. It's just chill zone. Chill zone. Play games. Play Madden. Play FIFA with the lads.
Off, and the next thing you know, we have what we created, which is a huddle locker room. Every time I go in there, there's activity. Either someone kind of resting on a beanbag, there's someone playing pool, there's someone playing video games.
There's enough space for everybody, so they just kind of find it.
One of the items you cannot miss is the white strips of felt that are hanging from the ceiling in the center. And that is to emulate rolling tumors corner. So after a big win, the Auburn fans and the student athletes and coaches now are rolling tumors corner. And so that basically just signifies victory. The locker room is obviously very strategically located, but the armory locker room is very strategically located as well, because you have showers off of that because we want them to go to the plunge pool. Has easy access to the practice fields. That's our touch point with our equipment staff. 125 lockers, very utilitarian. I mean, it's designed for them to get in and get out. Yan Cowart is one of the few architect student athletes really in the United States. He was actually an offensive lineman. He blocked for Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson. You've probably heard of him. But at the same time, he's done a lot of work in sports architecture, having a deep understanding of the day in the life of a student athlete football player. He gives a good balance of providing something appealing to recruits, but at the same time, not so over the top that it takes away from the essence of the game.
Usually in college athletics, the equipment space is just 4 walls, white walls, and all the equipment in there. This is like a showcase. This is innovative. This is forward thinking. I've never seen anything like that. And I've heard this name quite a bit, Dana Marquez, around this facility. Who is that, and tell me what this is?
Dana, he actually recently retired. Very integral part in the design of this, really the whole facility, because he's touching so many different parts and pieces of it, where equipment is. But yes, he really wanted a space that kind of showcased equipment, partly because it's just cool, but then also because just from a safety standpoint. I mean, that is just a huge deal in any kind of athletics, especially in football. So we really wanted to showcase that to our prospects and then make it easy for our players to be able to have access to all of that.
Remember, we spoke about this, that we don't only see, it's mainly Nike that sponsors all these teams. So Under Armour sponsors Auburn University. Interesting.
Prospects, and then make it easy for our players.
There you go, Under Armour.
to be able to have access to all of that. Inside that space is our Falcon Pursuit machine, which is a one-of-a-kind machine that really helps us analyze and benchmark the student athletes, which really helps us with their performance, with their recovery, all of those type things, and helps us fit them for equipment. So when they get drafted in the NFL, we can send them the scan and they know exactly how big the player is before they even show up on site.
I'm here with Michael Riggs of Auburn. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Now, Coach Freeze, you would label him as a offensive coach?
Yes, an offensive-minded head coach.
Offensive-minded head coach. So if you're an offensive-minded head coach, are the offensive offices better than the defensive offices?
I don't know that they're necessarily better, but they're going to be closer to the head coach. So if he needs something, it's a shorter walk for those guys. You'll see as we get down there that all of the offensive position rooms, staff rooms, bullpen areas we call, and the assistant coaches are all closest to Coach Freeze. Within a few seconds they can be in his office or he can be in theirs if need be. This is our indoor classroom. We've got 3 projectors here that make this one big image. These are regulation hashes. We're able to throw up, whether it be practice footage or scout games or something, and works really well for our interior front 7. They're able to line up to some different things and just walk through in a space that is right outside their meeting room. Coach usually starts off every Monday and Thursday in a team meeting, right? And so we'll have all 120 guys in here, staff will be in here, and then generally they're gonna go into unit meetings. So like you said, coach may want to talk to the offense. Well, the defense sits on this side every day, so it's already separated. Offense sits on this side, and we push a button and turn the key over here, and the wall drops down out of the ceiling, and within a minute and 36 seconds, this room is separated. Screens and audio video is separated, and we went from having one big room to 2, and you would be surprised at how quiet it is on each side. To our knowledge, this was the first one they had done with tiered seating, and it came together really well.
The recruiting lounge. You guys have different functionality for that. It's in an area where you can pretty much see everything in a 360 view.
It was designed originally, obviously, to take recruits in. It gives them a bird's eye view of different things that can be going on, whether that's lifting sessions in the weight room or practicing the indoor. If we've got a prospect who's got an elderly parent with them or a grandparent, it's a good place for them to be able to view practice. As we get into this building even more, we're figuring out new ways that we can utilize it.
Just like to have a winning football program, you got to have a winning team. And that's what we had on this building. We had great engineers, we had great architects with GMC and HOK, all of their sub-consultants. And really, we felt like everyone was on board with the schedule, with the budget. What was interesting is we did most, if not all, the design during a worldwide pandemic. Most all design meetings, all design reviews were done online, but it was appropriate because we wanted a highly innovative, highly technologically advanced facility, and we actually used the latest and greatest technology in order to design this facility, which is kind of cool. But we really weren't going to let that slow us down or COVID, so we kind of put our heads down and went to work.
That was probably one of the best ones I've seen so far. Like it's not all over, it's not all in your face. It's just very sleek, simple, minimalistic. Well, still, I think once the change room, the lounge area really surprised me. It was just so chilled, so relaxing. Even the fact that is it the meeting room? The fact that the wall can get separated to 2 different rooms, so you can talk to the offensive, the defensive. So it's just. That's pretty cool, in my opinion. In my opinion, anyway, that's very cool. Yeah, let me know what you guys are, what other teams you're going to see. Auburn Tigers, are they Division 1 team? Let us know. They're meant to be really good. They win a lot, so I'm not sure if they're. I don't think they're playing the same league. I think what's SEC? Is that like Oklahoma, Louisiana, Tennessee? I like in one area, and I think New York and whoever is near New York playing in a different league. Again, I'm probably wrong, but that's what I'm getting from this. I'm still learning. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Sorry about that. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.